Ancient England was a land surrounded by fog, stone castles, and dangerous seas. For centuries, kings, warriors, and sailors faced storms, invasions, and battles that would change the destiny of Europe forever. From Viking ships to powerful English war fleets, the sea was always the path to power. The cold waters around the British Isles witnessed stories of courage, betrayal, and conquest. Ancient people crossed unknown oceans using only the stars, the wind, and the instincts of experienced sailors. Long before England became a mighty kingdom, the island was inhabited by Celtic tribes. These people lived in small villages surrounded by dense forests and mysterious mountains. The Celts believed in spirits of nature and legendary warriors. Druids performed ceremonies among ancient stones while icy winds swept across the land. Everything changed when the powerful Roman Empire arrived. In 43 AD, Roman legions landed in Britain. Soldiers marched wearing shining armor and carrying enormous shields. The Romans built roads, fortresses, ports, and defensive walls. For the first time, navigation around the island became controlled by an organized military force. The seas surrounding England became important trade routes. Roman ships crossed the English Channel carrying weapons, food, and soldiers. Ports quickly expanded as commerce grew stronger. However, after centuries of control, Rome began to weaken. When the Romans abandoned Britain, chaos spread across the island. From the frozen north came the Vikings. Their longships appeared like shadows on the horizon. Fast, silent, and deadly, Viking ships crossed violent oceans, searching for wealth and glory. The people of England feared the sound of Viking horns echoing along the coast. The Vikings raided villages, burned monasteries, and stole treasures. But they were not only warriors. They were extraordinary navigators. Without modern maps, they crossed massive oceans using the sun, stars, and ocean currents. For decades, the Vikings controlled large parts of England. Great battles erupted between Saxon kings and Norse invaders. One of the most famous rulers was Alfred the Great. He organized armies, strengthened cities, and created naval defenses. Alfred understood one important truth: whoever controlled the sea controlled England. From that moment, navigation became a powerful weapon of war. During the Middle Ages, England became a kingdom surrounded by conflict. Massive castles were built on hills to defend territories. Inside these fortresses lived kings, nobles, and knights. Outside the walls, peasants worked in the fields while armies prepared for battle. Knights trained every day with swords and spears. Wars were brutal. Arrows darkened the skies while soldiers charged across muddy battlefields. England faced constant invasions and struggles for the throne. One of the greatest turning points happened in 1066. That year, William the Conqueror crossed the sea from Normandy. His fleet carried thousands of soldiers. The Battle of Hastings changed English history forever. After victory, William became King of England. He strengthened military power and built countless castles to control the kingdom. Ships no longer transported only goods. Now they carried entire armies across the sea. As centuries passed, the English realized their strength depended on the ocean. Because England was an island, protecting the coastline became essential. Slowly, one of the most powerful navies in history was born. Shipbuilders created larger and stronger vessels. Cannons were installed on warships. Navigation became essential for trade, war, and territorial expansion. Sailors faced giant storms and extremely dangerous journeys. Many never returned home. Ships carried gold, weapons, fabrics, spices, and supplies. Pirates also attacked English vessels on the open sea. Naval battles were violent. Cannons exploded through thick smoke while wooden ships shattered under enemy fire. The sound of war echoed across the ocean. England slowly expanded its influence around the world. Explorers sailed toward unknown lands. The sea was no longer a barrier. It became the road to empire. English navigators faced unimaginable dangers. Voyages often lasted for months. Food spoiled quickly. Disease spread through crowded ships. Massive storms destroyed entire fleets. Even so, sailors continued to cross the oceans. They searched for new trade routes and distant riches. Maps of the world were incomplete. Large parts of the sea remained mysterious. Some sailors believed in sea monsters. Others feared sailing beyond the edge of the world. But explorers kept moving forward. English ports became centers of international trade. Cities grew rapidly because of navigation and commerce. The sea transformed the English economy forever. Throughout history, England fought countless wars. One of the most famous was the 100 Years' War against France. For generations, soldiers battled for territory and power. English archers became legendary. Their longbows could pierce heavy armor. Wars consumed enormous resources. Ships transported troops and supplies across dangerous waters. Controlling sea routes became essential. Later, England faced threats from Spain. The mighty Spanish Armada attempted to invade the kingdom. But storms and the powerful English navy destroyed much of the invading fleet. The victory strengthened English dominance over the seas. From that moment forward, England was viewed as a nearly unstoppable naval power. English ports were crowded, noisy, and dangerous places. Merchants sold wine, fish, fabrics, weapons, and spices. Sailors arrived from distant lands, carrying stories from around the world. Taverns were filled with tales of monsters, storms, treasure, and war. Many poor men joined the navy searching for money and adventure. Life at sea, however, was extremely harsh. Ships were cramped. Food was limited. Storms could appear without warning. Yet navigation remained the heart of England. Ancient England left a deep mark on world history. Its wars shaped kingdoms. Its navy changed the balance of power across the oceans. Its explorers opened routes toward new worlds. Castles still stand across the English countryside. Stories of kings, knights, and sailors continue to fascinate people today. Ancient England was a land of courage, conflict, and mystery. A kingdom surrounded by the sea. A people who transformed ships into instruments of war, trade, and power. As waves crashed against the island shores, a new age slowly emerged. And through storms and battles, one of history's greatest maritime powers was born.